It's update time, people.
Update!
We climbed inside a fountain and tore out its heart.
Bum bum bum!
So last night, while I was trying to edit my really boring vlog that I was filming,
It pretty much sucked.
Dan walked in here, and this is what he said.
Said, hey Tim, wanna go on an adventure? And then he said,
What kind of an adventure? I'm editing.
he was really depressed, and I could tell. So I threw in a little whimsical thing of, hey, we're gonna go climb into a fountain. And he said,
What kind of a fountain? I'm editing.
and I said, Tim, you wanna go to Buckingham Fountain and take cool pictures and jump inside of it?
And I said, yeah? Yes, I do.
And you're like, what time? And I was like, we're leaving in 10 minutes.
And I was like, can I have 12 minutes?
And I said, no.
And I said, okay.
And we left the dorm building. And now we went and met up with some other people. Chelsea Teason, Mark, and Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the guys' last names because they're not on my sister floor. I feel like I needed to tell that.
All right.
I needed the clarification.
Now that we realize that Mark and Sam are not on the sister floor.
Because they're not women.
We're clear on that.
Yep. Okay. So, anyway, we're traveling. And we get on the L, get off the L. We go down to walk 2 blocks past Millennium Park. And there's Grant Park.
This huge empty plaza.
Now, this is the type of plaza that you would imagine in like an action movie. It was like, and then you have people, and like you have Bourne running across, and the bird's like, and then the guy like tries to shoot the guy down.
Yeah.
We're talking like that kind of plaza.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Get
much.
that world? That kind of a plaza.
It was that kind of a plaza.
Then, in the very middle of the plaza, there's this giant fountain.
And when we say giant, we're not kidding.
We're talking about it looked like a building. It was so big. I've never seen Buckingham Fountain, and now that I've seen it in the winter, I want to go in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we travel over to this fountain.
It takes us at least 20 minutes to walk down the plaza to the fountain. That's
no,
how big this plaza is.
This is a huge plaza. Right there, that's where the fountain was. And this thing was huge.
It was enormous.
We're talking 3 stories high. And then what do we do as good college students who are bored on a Tuesday night?
We hoist ourselves up into the fountain.
We hoist.
Hoist.
With no ropes. We use what God gave us.
We just hoist our colors right up on into that fountain.
Yeah.
Tier.
We climb up from the great ground floor.
Oh yeah,
and we get
tier
up
1.
to tier 1.
We're on tier 1.
Which took like Mark
30 seconds.
Mark is like a Spider-Man, I realized.
Yeah.
I cannot climb things. You put me on a climbing wall with footholds and a rope, I can go 3 feet up.
Yep.
And then my hands start cramping. And I feel like I need to play more video games to practice the muscles in here.
Okay, tier 1. We're on tier 1, and there's pipes, and there's some like residual water.
We're already impressed by our effort.
It's pretty cool.
We're like,
wow,
we're on top of a fountain.
we're on a fountain. Then we realize there's a second tier.
Yeah.
And not only is there a second tier,
But
there's a ladder, and
there you
it's
go.
not chained down.
So what do?
We hoist the ladder.
We hoist, just like
We do
Jolly
more.
Roger and not Jolly Rancher.
We do much more hoisting.
Wait, would Jolly Rancher be a cowboy pirate mix?
I can see that.
Arr!
Them doggies.
Dogs?
We lift up this ladder, tilt it upwards, do a little bit of hoisting in the process, and it's encrusted with like algae and barnacles.
Because in the middle of a fountain.
It's in a fountain. It just
Yeah.
lives in a fountain.
Yeah.
You'd be encrusted too, okay?
You ever seen Pirates of the
Don't judge.
Caribbean 2? Those like creepy sea monster things? That's what this ladder looked like.
And there's a lot of hoisting in that movie too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So we climb up this ladder, get to the tier 2.
Tier 2.
Tier 2.
So now we are on the second tier of this.
And
thing.
all that's left is like the tower.
The tower where the water just spurts out during the summer.
And we're like, so Mark, the Spider-Man, climbs up the second ladder that we got up. And he climbs up, and all that's up there's like wooden planks.
Yeah, they nailed some wooden planks up there to protect the mechanisms. So all you could really do is climb up this second ladder and then stand at the top rung of the ladder and look out upon the city.
So we're like, what the crap, world? What do we do right now? And what do you think we did?
All of a sudden,
A miracle happened.
Mark the Spider-Man climbs down and he says, "Hey guys, look over here." And there's this little cement protrusion coming up out of the ground.
Protrusion.
And there's a hole in the top, and we look down in that hole.
And what is there?
Another encrusted ladder
It was like we're in Legend of Zelda.
leading into the bowels
We didn't
of
even
the
need a key.
fountain.
and
The very bowels of the fountain
so we
were
climbed.
right there.
Yeah. So what did we do? We did the only thing we could do.
We climbed down that ladder and explored the inside of this fountain.
Now, imagine this. Can you think of a 3-tier like wedding cake? We have like we're up here.
Mm-hmm.
This ladder went all the way down to the bottom of the inside.
We were in this enormous, round, cavernous room full of pipes and cement.
And the only two things we have to have light, Mark, Spider-Man, some reason brought a flashlight on this endeavor.
He's a smart man.
He was just like, oh, I'm just going to bring a flashlight. He also had a backpack,
But
which makes me wonder what else was in there.
He forgot to bring any spears or rollerblade
Away.
But he had a flashlight, which really makes up for his lack of rollerblades.
So we got that's all we have in this huge room, like at the bottom of the fountain, like inside the 3-tier cake.
Now, I don't know about you, but when I think about because Sam didn't come down, did he?
No.
Okay, when I think about 4 college students climbing down into a giant cavernous room with nothing but a flashlight, nothing good comes to mind.
Our hearts were beating out of our chests.
It was a little bit scary.
Now, Chelsea Thiessen was down there, so we were all being men, and we weren't talking about it while we were scared, but we all had it on our face.
We all knew that any moment somebody was going to leap out of the shadows.
Skeleton, zombie, creepy homeless man.
And who was going to go first? It was going to be me.
Yeah.
I was a red shirt. Chelsea probably would have survived until last because she's the girl. But
Yeah.
I don't know if she would have actually made it. So we're down in this cave, shining the light all around, and it is really cool. A little bit creepy, but mostly just really cool.
And there are crawl spaces on the outer bumps of this room.
That's right.
So not only were we walking, but we were like ducking under crawl spaces.
It was like an adventure. It was like we had stumbled upon some secret hideout.
We were either going to find a zombie, skeleton, or a homeless man, or like
Treasure untold.
I was hoping for the Ark of the Covenant.
So I found my own treasure inside of that fountain. I found a chunk of cement that was broken off
from the
archway of one of the inside walls. From one of those crawl spaces.
Can we just get a close-up of this?
Look at that.
That,
my friends, is a piece of the Buckingham Fountain.
This is a piece of Chicago.
Outside.
You can't get this in the summer seasons.
I didn't vandalize this fountain to get this. This was an already pre-broken piece of the fountain from the very core of its being. This is a token of my true adventures. I have been to places in Chicago a few other men have been and brought something back with me.
Mm-hmm. You know what we have to do now?
This is like moon dust.
We need to cry. I couldn't believe you actually did that. Anyway.
I think you should do this with me every week if you have time.
Sure. Alright, this has been another episode of Work in Progress. If you're interested in getting a monthly subscription to Nickelodeon Magazine, you're watching the wrong video.
Oh, you have a temperature. Let me give you some morphine. Let me put a cold compress on your head. Team. Oh, Slider is awesome. Banjo!
Oh, this is a great one too.
That's a little disturbing.
What the crap is this?
I will mail you this beautiful coloring of Don the Demon Flower.
Are you really calling this Work in Progress? This has been another episode of Work in Progress with Tim Newton and
Dan Schubert.
If you really wonder what we're really like in real life, we're not giving you our address. Creepos.